What's up, geeks? My name is Joey, otherwise known as the Iron Cowboy, Gunnar Lang, back here on When Geeks Collide, like 99% of the time, with yet another McFarlane DC Multiverse figure review. And today I have not just one, but two DC Multiverse mega figures in what's going to be a two-part mega review. Stay tuned to the end of the video to find out what the next mega figure, to be reviewed, will be in the next part in our next video. Before you go on, don't forget to like and subscribe. And with all that said, let's get right into this massive mega figure. Oh my god. And of course, here is Swamp Thing. This Swamp Thing rendering is sourced from the DC Rebirth titles and his many appearances throughout different titles in the Rebirth series, including one of his own post-Future State or pre-Future State. I can't remember. But just to compare, like, I don't actually know the exact scale of this figure. It is obviously above the conventional 7-inch scale for most McFarlane figures. But with me right now, I have my Darkseid figure, which at the time of getting it, you guys saw my review on it, was the tallest figure that I have. It was massive, probably one of the biggest figures that I own. And that was even bigger comparatively speaking to any other casual figure, such as, well, for another example, my recently acquired Superboy Prime is a standard 7-inch McFarlane figure, which is dwarfed by Darkseid, which also in turn is dwarfed by Swamp Thing. So that's nothing short of incredible, no pun intended. So with the figure came this interchangeable hand. Obviously doesn't look like a hand, but Swamp Thing is able to, if you know Swamp Thing, he's able to completely change the shape of his body at will in any way. And in often cases, like especially in battle scenes, he's seen to make crude weapons out of his hands, such as this. But I will attach that into 360 display final thoughts. And as is customary with the McFarlane figures, there is this Swamp Thing DC Rebirth figure photography collectible card, and it is very nice, if I do say so myself. Posed very nicely, and like I may have mentioned before, he is hard to balance. So kudos to them. And the scenery, whether or not that's actually planted in a swamp-like setting, is dedication to the photograph. Anywho, enough of that rambling. Let's get on to this rambling. His bio in the back. Swamp Thing, DC Rebirth, Alec Holland. While scientist Alec Holland was working on a formula to grow plant life where there is none, a rival organization vying for the formula set off a bomb that Alec covered in his bio-restorative serum. To escape the flames of the explosion, he stumbled into a nearby swamp where he mutated into a strange hero known as Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing has superhuman strength and the ability to regenerate any portion of his body. He can also command plants to do his bidding and change locations instantly by inhabiting vegetation anywhere in the world. And honestly, that's kind of somewhat of an oversimplification of his powers, if you ask me. It does go way deeper than that, but you know, as a basic summary, that is kind of, yeah, in a nutshell, what he does. Avatar of the Green. So, how's about we get this big guy on the 360 display? There we go, Swamp Thing with the 365 treatment. So big, in fact, that it was so hard to balance on the stand that it barely even fits on in the first place, that I actually had to go grab an extra display stand to keep them upright. Yeah, this figure is absolutely insane. If you are an out-of-box collector like myself and you're posing, you're into figure photography, one recommendation I would have is just to be very careful with the like the foliage around the shoulders. It's like very loose. It could possibly rip if you are not careful, so be careful of that. But while I have it here, let's just admire McFarlane's attention to detail once again, like I always say. An absolutely stunning figure, perfect in detail, everything right down to the moss on his chest. Just phenomenal. Every root and leaf and piece of bark simulated on this figure is too perfect to tell. Even the butt cheeks are perfectly detailed with leaves and foliage and shrubbery. I can't I can't come up with more words for this. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and rate this Swamp Thing. I was super stoked to find it. You can watch me hunt for it by going back into videos just a little bit to find my Yes Day toy hunt with my wife, where I found this figure after a long, grueling hunt. So I was really excited to find it. It's definitely one of my favorite characters in DC. A very, very rich history with DC. Not going to go deep into the history on that. We definitely do not have that kind of time. So, long story short, I absolutely love this figure. I wouldn't say it's exactly 10 out of 10 just in my personal taste. If it were a character, perhaps say higher up on my favorites list or like on my top 10 list, I would absolutely easily give this a 10 out of 10, but I am still going to be very generous in my rating and say a solid 9.5 out of 10 for this Swamp Thing. And there you have it. That is DC Rebirth Swamp Thing from McFarlane Toys. Thanks, McFarlane, for coming up with these amazing figures. Before I get into the socials, let's quickly show off our next mega figure to be reviewed. That's right. If you're on any of the figure collecting McFarlane fan pages or what have you, then you have absolutely seen that Clayface mega figure around. Popular, famous, or infamous for many reasons. But I personally love it, and I'll go into full detail about that in the part 2 of this video. But before that, please, if you haven't already, hit like, leave a comment, and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. It's free. It just costs you a Mississippi of time and another half a Mississippi to hit the notification bell if you want to know when we have more videos out, which is not on an actually scheduled basis, but every now and then we do have these bursts of videos and content coming right at you guys. So thank you so much for watching along, liking and commenting. We really appreciate it. It helps us out a ton. What also helps us out a lot is checking us out on all of our socials. That's When Geeks Collide on Facebook and Instagram, WGC Network on Twitter, and on Anchor.fm for the podcast, Multiverse Legends. Lots of exciting stuff coming out that we're going to talk about, and can't wait to share with you guys. Of course, go to sunsetcrypt.com, the mothership of When Geeks Collide. Find all your favorite articles on there on horror, sci-fi, comics, all manner of geekdom, really. And once you're done there, check me out on Facebook at Gunnar Lang, Instagram and Twitter at IC_Gunnar Lang. And if you want to go even further than that, you can go support my independent comics company, Horizon Comics, with an X, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and right here on YouTube, with new content coming out semi-regularly. I'm working on that myself. My company is still very young and still working to build up traction. Hopefully, you guys like my new project coming out, Horizon Comics Shadow Puppet. Details to be released as they come. And yeah, I think that's all I'm going to go on about. So stay tuned for part 2 where I review Clayface. And with that said, geeks out.